There is one exercise that is the most important for anyone over the age of 70 to master. And in this video, I'm going to reveal what it is and how you can master it at home. If you don't know who I am, my name is Harlow. I'm the Over-Fifties specialist physio here at HT Physio in Farnham. And today we're going to be talking about the most important exercise for seniors to master. So the most important exercise that I'm talking about today is the sit to stand. And the sit to stand is basically the movement we use anytime we get up and out of a chair or on and off the toilet or in and out of the car. So the sit to stand is not only an exercise, but it's a movement that we do 10, 15, 20 times every single day. And the shocking thing is, many of my clients, when they first come to see me, are really bad at sit to stands. They can hardly do it without A, losing balance, or B, dropping into the chair, or C, using the improper technique. Now, if you can't do a sit to stand, quite frankly, life is going to be a struggle, not because that movement is difficult, but because it means you'll have trouble walking, you'll have trouble on stairs, and you won't be as safe when you're on your feet. So by mastering sit to stand, we can A, master a movement we do all the time, and we can B, shore up the legs, strengthen the key muscle groups, and improve your overall mobility and health. So let's have a look at some of the common mistakes people make when they're doing sit to stand, the proper technique of the movement, and how you can improve your sit to stand at home in the space of just a few weeks. Let's have a look now. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you the proper technique for the sit to stand, and then we're going to show you 3 big mistakes that people make when they get it wrong. So the proper technique is this. So we're going to shuffle to the edge of a chair, and then we want to find a position where our feet are tucked back just underneath our knees and flat on the floor. Then what we're going to do is we're going to use some momentum to come forward and then push through the heels and stand up like this, without using our hands, of course. And then the next thing is we're going to put that into reverse, so stick the hips out, start to bend the knees, and slowly come down until we touch the chair. Now, if you're not quite sure of your stability, what you would do to change that is before you sit, you come back and you feel the backs of your legs on the chair, and then you repeat the movement like that. For some people, that makes it a lot easier. So that's the proper technique. So the first thing people do when they get this wrong is they don't shuffle to the edge of the chair. So they start like this and they try and get up, and they're off balance, so they end up just dropping back down. So that is why many people feel they have to use their hands, because they're so far back in the chair that even if they were to stand up, they can't bring their body weight forward without losing their balance. So the solution to that is to make sure you're shuffling to the edge. You want to have your sitting bones right on the edge of the chair before you start to get up. And then the second mistake people make when they're doing the sit to stand happens when they're going back down to the chair. So I find many of my clients are okay getting up, but they have trouble going back down and they feel they need to use their hands. And the reason they do this is because they think the correct technique is to go straight down without bending the hips. Now, if I was to just bend my knees and not bend my hips at all, I get stuck there. I can't go any further. And the reason I can't go any further is because my ankles won't let me. So the next thing that has to bend is my hips. And what that does is it brings my hips out behind me like this, like a hinge, and it allows me to drop down safely into the chair. So if you're trying to get up without bending your hips, or you're trying to sit back down without bending your hips, you're going to have trouble with this movement. So it's absolutely normal for your body to be bending forward. It's totally fine for you to lean forward like this. You keep your back nice and straight. It's the movements happening at the hips, and then you slowly drop yourself down like that. And then the third big mistake I see, and this is a really, really common one, is happening at the knees. And that is when they come together. Now, we call this valgus, and it basically means that your thigh bones are about to cross over like that if they kept going. It means you get that knock-kneed appearance like that, and we see people doing this all the time. And the reason they do it is because when your knees are pressing against each other, it feels easier to do the movement. And the reason it feels easier is because your hips are not doing any work at all. So you're still getting some work with the knee muscles, but none at the hips, and it means you're going to end up imbalanced and weak at your hips. So what you have to do is keep a strict rule that you're going to imagine you've got at least something the size of 6 inches between your knees so that they don't collapse inwards. So if you watch my knees when I get up, what they should do is they should follow the line of my feet. They shouldn't cross in like this, because that means my hips are fully switched off and I'm not using the right muscles. So those are the 3 mistakes to avoid. I'm going to show you how to do the sit to stand properly as an exercise, and hopefully it will help you get stronger in time. So the way to practice this at home is to find a sensible height chair. Dining room chair works really well. And then to start off standing with your legs touching the back of the chair. Then what we're going to do is we're going to stick our hips out first like this, just to get a feel for that first initial action, because that's the first thing that should happen, okay, is the hips flex, just like I said in the mistakes section. Then the second thing that should happen is your knees should start to bend, and what we want to do is practice going down to the chair at a rate of about 4 seconds, and we want to land without making a noise. The chair shouldn't creak, the chair shouldn't groan, it shouldn't sound like someone's just dropped into a chair, it should be silent. Now I appreciate not everyone will be able to do that to begin with, but that's what we should be shooting for after a few weeks of practice. Then to get up, you're going to shuffle to the edge, you're going to use a little bit of momentum, it's fine to do that. So you're going to come forward, 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 and then on the last one you're going to push through your heels, bending both the hips and the knees and straightening them both at the top, and then reversing the movement. So again, come back, just feel the backs of your legs on the chair, bend forward, bend the knees, slowly dropping down, about 4 seconds is good, land without making a noise, and then repeat. Now I recommend people practice 5 in a row, and do that at least 3 times a day. You'll be amazed at how much of a difference that can make over a period of 6 weeks. And that makes it one of the most important exercises for seniors to master, because it will give you better stability, better strength, and better ability to actually move around at home. So that's the most important exercise for seniors to master. I hope that video has been useful to you. If it has, please do drop your thoughts below, because I love to read your comments. And if you want to get more from me, you can grab more tips like this one in my book. It's called Thriving Beyond 50, and you can find it on Amazon using the link below. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time, and I'll speak to you on the next video.